Hello there guys, it's LaserBeast here, and today we're going to talk about patch 9.2, and I'm going to give you my honest opinions about the patch, and we're going to discuss whether or not it's worth playing. So if you're thinking about coming back to the patch, this could be a good video for you to watch. And if you're playing the patch, I'll be interested to hear your thoughts too down in the comments. So we're going to talk about the state of PvE and PvP, but not so much PvP because I'm not a very big PvP guy, and then the world content and other things that the patch offers. So first of all, let's start with the PvE stuff, and let's go to the raid. So the raid is actually pretty nice. The bosses are fairly challenging, they're very varied. There's some familiar faces that we've seen before. Obviously, the raid progresses the story of what's been going on so far, so it's nice to see this sort of come to an end. We'll talk more about the story later. The raid is generally really good. The environment's nice. It's a nice place to be in. There's some variation there. It's a cool sort of. Obviously, we're in the sepulchre of the first one, so it's kind of interesting to navigate. And the player base's reaction to the raid is generally being pretty good overall. So let's discuss Mythic Plus. Now, Mythic Plus is in quite a good spot at the minute. Obviously, the dungeons, we've been doing them for quite a long time now. People know them inside out for the vast majority. But the seasonal affix is quite a nice one this time round. Now, sometimes I find these to be quite annoying when they make you totally change the way you do a dungeon. But this one doesn't massively alter the way that you're going to tackle the dungeons. It gives you options though, which is great. Giving us options, it puts the control in the player's hands, which is a good way of doing things. So if you don't know what the seasonal affix is this time, it's called Encrypted, and what it basically does is puts relics into random packs in the dungeons, and depending on which relic you kill first, you'll get a certain buff. You'll kill the relic, then a mob will spawn based on that relic. When you kill the mob, you'll get the buff. Now, for example, WoW, if you kill the WoW relic first, then when that mob spawns and you kill it, you'll then get a cooldown reduction, which is quite cool. So you can blow all your cooldowns at the start of the pack, and then they'll get them quite a lot reduced when you kill the mob, so you can use them again sooner, which just feels good. It feels like you're doing the dungeon quicker. It feels like you're more powerful because you're using your cooldowns more often. It's really nice. But then again, on the other hand, if you wanted to, say, skip some packs, so if you've looked ahead at the route, which obviously you should be doing, then you're going to know if you kill the Vi relic first and kill the Vi interceptor, which spawns afterwards, you're then going to get stealth and movement speed, so you're going to be able to skip a pack. So having options like this is really nice. Now, let's be honest, the vast majority of the time, you're just going to be killing WoW to get the cooldown reduction. There's just more damage. You can do the whole thing quicker. It just feels more fluid when your cooldowns are back again quicker. But it's nice to have the option there nonetheless. Now, as you probably know, Tazavesh has become 2 different wings, just the same as Mechagon did in Battle for Azeroth. And initially, these were absolutely solid, but they have been nerfed a bit, so if you're going to do these, you're going to have smoother runs. I find Streets one to be a bit more of a pain to deal with, but Solia's Gambit is actually really quite nice to do. It's fairly quick. There's 3 bosses. The bosses are quite challenging. If you don't do the tactics properly, you're going to wipe. It's the same with most things, to be fair. So yeah, it's quite a good addition to the Mythic Plus pool. Now, obviously with PvE and PvE, we've now got tier sets. Now, people have genuinely loved having the tier sets available again. It's a nice thing to earn for, rather than just gearing up and just trying to increase your eye level in certain slots. You're also looking to get this tier piece. It's created some conflicts with legendaries, which is an unfortunate side effect of it. People have needed to recraft legendaries in order to not, say for instance, if you get tier legs, but then your legendary is crafted on your legs, you're having to change where your legendary is crafted, which is a bit unfortunate. Legendary prices have actually gone down though, because obviously people aren't wanting to buy legendaries on the tier set slots. So it's a bit of a weird one going on. So that's one sort of downside of the tier sets being available. Another one is just people that are unlucky and that haven't managed to get any yet. There are some people that have literally been playing every week. They've done as many vault slots as they can, and they haven't got a single tier piece yet, which is incredibly unlucky. And to further kick those people in the nuts, people are now checking that you've got your tier set. If you're trying to do, for example, a Mythic 15 or above, people are checking if you've got your 4 set tier bonus, which is kind of mean. But I can understand why. Obviously, if you're putting your key forward, you're going to want the best people in there to get you through that key and get it timed. But it is just an unfortunate side effect of the tier sets being in the game. This is going to be counteracted though by a system that's coming next week, the 12th, 13th of April. I believe the Creation Catalyst is going to go live, and now what that will do is, say for example you've got a piece of gear that's on your legs, and it's at a decent eye level and it's got good stats on it. If you are missing your tier set bonus and you've not got it on legs, for example, you can take that piece of gear to the Creation Catalyst and convert it into a tier set piece. It'll keep its eye level, its stats, any gems or enchants you put on it, say it's got like leech on it or speed on it, it'll keep that too. Now, so you can get some quite good pieces there and create them into a tier set piece. So that gear isn't just wasted. Now, this means obviously if you're getting gear right now from Mythic Plus or wherever raids, PvP, you're going to want to keep hold of pieces to have options there. And what it does mean is that if you've been really unlucky, obviously then this is a guaranteed way of getting a tier set piece. Initially you can craft one a week, I believe, but then as the patch goes on, this is going to be it's on cooldown less and less as the patch goes on, basically. So if you're coming back to the game, say in 3 months' time, it's very likely that you'll be able to just craft your tier set pretty much all straight away, as long as you've got obviously a piece of gear to craft it onto, to change it into. It's also quite nice, this patch, that they have reduced the weekly vault requirements, to get these slots unlocked. So instead of the third Mythic Plus one being 10, it's now 8 dungeons to unlock that, and the rare bosses to unlock the slots, it's 2, and then 5, and then 8 bosses killed to get the first, second, and third slots. And they've even reduced the valor required from raid to PvP as well. So that's quite nice. It takes less time. It makes things a bit more ult-friendly if you're trying to do this on multiple characters. And it's just nice not to have to feel like there's a huge grind at the start of every week to get those slots filled up. I'll talk about Covenants because it's kind of related to everything you do in Shadowlands, to be honest. Now, most of the annoying things about Covenants have now gone away, so the limitations between switching and swapping are gone. The fact that you can swap between them all now at any time is really good, it's really nice. That just remains to be the only annoying thing about doing it. You have to go back to Oribos, talk to the NPC. It's a little bit fiddly. This could all just be done in the talents window, for example. There could just be a section for Covenant and you could just click it and swap it there. Don't see a reason why you have to go to the NPC, but never mind. And it should have been this way from the start, really, but it's nice at least that we've got it now. So let's discuss the world content of patch 9.2. Now, this is actually quite nice. So Zereth Mortis is a much bigger place than Korthia, and it's a much nicer zone to spend some time in. Honestly, I found Korthia just miserable, depressing, just bland. It was boring to be in there. It wasn't visually appealing to me at all. But Zereth Mortis is the opposite. So it's easy to unlock Fly in there now. So you just have to do a quick meta achievement, which you'll do if you're doing anything around Zereth Mortis. You'll do it. There's one achievement called Tales of the Exile, which you might need to just check out on Wowhead. It requires you to go and find some scrolls and click on them around Zereth Mortis. It's really quick to do, but it's easy to miss. The campaign is all unlocked. The time gating for that has finished, so you can log on right now and just do the entire campaign all in one big chunk if you wanted to, so that's good. And the good thing for a lot of people about Zereth Mortis is that most of it is entirely optional, so you don't need to engage with the Pock system. The only thing you probably want to do is the campaign, obviously, because of, well, you get the story done, and you also get the creation catalyst unlocked through the campaign. I believe you won't be able to just unlock it if you don't do the campaign, but I might be wrong on that. Through some activities in Zereth Mortis, you get Sandworn relics. Now, these are used to buy Sandworn gear from a vendor in one of the little hubs in Zereth Mortis, and it was kind of useless, this gear. The eye level was around 252, so it's the equivalent to like normal raid gear, but you used to have to get like 300 Sandworn relics to buy like one piece, but this has been reduced by a lot now. And Blizzard have said that you are going to be able to use this gear with the creation catalyst when that comes out. So if you're very, very unlucky and you don't get a piece of gear in one of your tier slots, then you'll be able to buy some Sandworn gear to use to create into a tier piece. So at least it gives you the option there. It's a bit more bad luck protection. So as I briefly mentioned before, you've got the Pock system in Zereth Mortis, which basically just adds a bit of flavour to your activities around there. You've got the Pock with you. He's kind of a cool guy, and you can customise him. You can buff him up. You can make him more supportive. You can make him more aggressive. Obviously not to you, to your enemies. And yeah, it's just something that adds a bit of flavour to your activities around Zereth Mortis. Now, as I mentioned, you don't need to bother with this at all. It is going to take you some time and some farming of the ciphers of the first ones to upgrade the system related with the Pock. And you've also got the other system of protoform synthesis, so you can use this to create mounts and pets that you can use as battle pets. It is quite a grindy system. You're going to have to spend a lot of time gathering materials and stuff for this, but again, entirely optional. It's just something else to do. Now, the story. Well, the story is a story. It's got a beginning and an end. Stuff happens in the middle, and it's a story. So obviously, it's not been great. But the good thing is, it's finished now, and we know what happens with the jailer and everything, and generally, the player base, I think, are just like, okay, yep, it's fine, it's done. The best thing about it is, it's done now, and we can look forward to what comes next, and hopefully, obviously, it's just the most simple, traditional World of Warcraft story. And yeah, we'll go from there. See what the next expansion brings. There's some nice interactions with the characters that we've been with through the Shadowlands. Once you've done certain parts of the campaign, and once you've done the raid and stuff, you get to see certain characters interacting with each other, which is cool. For the old stay a while and listen when you click on them when they're out in the world. So if you're into the lore and the story, you've got that to enjoy. It's a story. Now, everyone's favourite place, Torghast. The changes to it have been quite good, to be fair. It's quick to do. You don't have to actually do Torghast at all if you don't want to. Obviously, if you want to craft legendaries, which you will be doing, you need Cosmic Flux now, which is the new ingredient for legendary crafting. But you get that from pretty much every activity in the Shadowlands with the 9.2 content. So you can even buy a satchel of materials from an NPC in Haven in Zereth Mortis, which gives you Cosmic Flux and Soul Ash. So you never need to step foot in Torghast again. Now, obviously, with 9.2 came the new Boss Rush mode for Torghast, which is actually really good, to be fair. I did get quite a lot of enjoyment out of doing this in the first week it came out, and there's some nice rewards. There's a title, there's a jailer-themed Hearthstone toy, there's a pet and a mount, and it's pretty fun to do this. Like, once you get onto the floors, say around 3, 4, 5 floors, then you've obviously got a lot of powers. You feel OP as hell, which you should do when you're in Torghast. And yeah, it's actually quite fun to do in a group. It's a bit of a challenge. You can just get one-shot by things when you get to the higher floors, but it's fun to do. The only thing is, once you've done it, there's not really an incentive to go back in and do it. It's like I said, I did this on the first week it came out, got the mount, and I've not been back in there since, which is a bit of a shame, but it was fun for the first week. I can say that. So if you've not done it yet, that is something good and worthwhile your time doing. You do also get some materials there. You get a bit of Cosmic Flux and all that stuff from doing it as well. So yeah, there's no real reason to go back in once you've done it, unless you just really enjoy doing Torghast. So PvP, I won't go too much in depth on PvP because it's not the type of content that I really do. But we'll talk about balance a bit. So the balance of classes is always kind of up in the air with PvP, as anybody knows. Same with PvE, and that's still the case now. On the whole, I think most classes are performing pretty well. There's certain ones that obviously stand out. There's been a bit of a switch up, like Survival Hunters are doing really good now. Sometimes thanks to the tier sets, like the 4-piece bonuses, especially for Survival, is really like put them ahead of the pack a bit. There's been a bit of a mix up with the healers. Holy Priests are now doing really good in PvP. So yeah, most classes are doing good, but some clearly coming out ahead, which is always the case. The new solo shuffle system is actually really cool. It's been a good addition to the game. I've definitely been spending more time doing this on PvP. I've definitely spent more time doing PvP because of this. Showed a lot more interest in it, and it's nice. I think some of the matches that you get into are relatively challenging, and it's a good sort of matchup, and others are just the complete zerg to find out who the weakest guy is and just go in and smash him straight away. Now, it's different in solo shuffle. As soon as one person dies, and that's it, that's the match over. You don't get a chance to like bring it back and you know, try and kill one person. The match is done as soon as one person dies, which makes it quite quick and snappy, which is good. But yeah, it's a decent mix of fun and gives good players a chance to show off the skills. It does also provide a relatively decent place for people new to PvP or that are scared of PvP to go in and learn. There's literally nothing to lose from it, and because it mixes the teams up as well, it's not just the case of, oh, we're against some really good guys, we're just going to get slammed for the entire 6 rounds. It's not like that. It mixes the teams up, and what you'll find is, or what I've found at least, is if you go in there and you're not very good and you lose the first match, the people that you've played against and that have beaten you can come in and give you tips. Now, people have given me tips on, oh mate, like use this talent, use this PvP talent, it's really good, which is quite nice. So you're not going to get that every time. Some people are going to be arseholes because you're just online playing a game, and that's the way the world is. But yeah, overall, the solo shuffle is a good addition to the game, and it'd be nice to see them do more with it in the future. At the minute, rewards-wise, obviously there's no rating with it, so you can't get any gear from doing it. You get Honor, which you can use to upgrade gear that you buy with Valor. Not Valor, sorry, Conquest. But yeah, there's a title and just achievements. So it'd be nice, even if it was just some different cosmetic stuff that you could earn from doing solo shuffle. That would be a good incentive to get more people playing. So for ults and returning players, is it a good time to come back and start, or is it a good time to level an ult? So for returning players, it's a great time to come back. Most of the time getting for the patch is done, you can just get stuck into everything. You're just going to need to gear up, obviously. And that's the only thing that's really holding ults back and returning players back, is the gearing up process and the legendaries. The legendaries, even though they have come down in price a bit from the start of the patch, they are still very expensive. So that could be a struggle if you've not got much gold. And obviously gearing, you've missed a few weeks of the vault, but you can definitely catch up if you've got time to just smash some content out. You can definitely catch up again. So yeah, there's still some issues like with the renown for ults. It's not that bad. You can buy the item to get to 40 renown instantly. You can also, in patch 9.2.5, they're going to increase that to 60, so you can get to 60 renown instantly on an ult. But basically, if you want to play the game, the best time to start is now. Just get stuck in and crack on and get gearing up and do what you want to do. So overall, the patch, I think the patch is a good patch. I've been having a lot of fun, to be honest. Before the patch came out, I definitely was getting a bit burnt out with the game. But I've just been finding myself really enjoying it. Every time I've had a chance to log on, I have been doing things. Mainly Mythic Plus to get that nice new mount from Mythic Plus for the seasonal one. And I've been doing a lot more PvP actually because of Solo Shuffle. It's just something fun to do. There's no pressure. So I've been enjoying that. I'm working on getting your tier set unlocked as well, and upgrading your gear and all that good stuff. It's fun. Honestly can't wait to get 4 set 4. I'm Guardian Druid, which is what I'm playing at the minute. It just seems so OP. Just smashing some mythics with that is going to be fun. Just doing huge pulls, AoE pulls. Probably top the DPS a few times, and yeah, it's going to be good. So there we go, guys. There's my thoughts on patch 9.2. Decent patch overall. Let me know what you think, though. You may disagree or agree. Let me know in the comments. Thank you very much for watching. I've been LazyBeast, guys, and I'll catch you next time. Cheers.